Hello everyone, welcome again. Today I want to solve a security engineer room, and previously we did vulnerability management, and now it's time for secure network architecture. Let's start with task one. In secure network architecture we have a beautiful practical exam here. Anyway, let's start with test one. Here we don't need any answer. In test two we will have some questions. To solve these questions, let's open this packet and read the questions. How many trunks are present in this configuration? The definition of trunks is in this text. You can read it to remember. Okay. And anyway, let's inspect the packet. To solve these questions, there is a hint here. Let's read it. VAOS uses bridges as trunks, so it's a valuable hint, and we can count the bridges to solve this question. How many bridges do we have? Bridge 2, bridge 1, and bridge 0, and here we have bridge 3, so totally we have 4 trunks. Second question, what is the VLAN tag ID for interface 12? It's here, and the tag for interface ATH12 is 30, yes. Task 3. From the above table, what zone would a user connection to a public web server be in? Let's read the hint. This user should be completely outside of our control from a segmentation perspective. So, in this schema, we can see the right area for this question is external wireless. Okay, so what zone would a user connection to a public web server be in? Public web servers are in external wireless. They are not of our control. We can't control them, and they are outside. So the right answer for this question is external wireless. Second question, from the above table, what zone would a public web server be in? What zone would a public web server be in? Let's read the hint again. The web server should be publicly accessible but still be considered a part of the internal network. So think a company like a bank, okay, and X bank. External wireless area is like that. You are trying to reach a website which doesn't belong to us. For example, you are in a bank but you want to see some YouTube videos. So youtube.com belongs to the external wireless, but your company gives a serve to its customers, okay, and that's in that way it has a website or it has a mobile application, and these parts are belong to the DMZ zone. Okay, let's read the hint again to make it clear. The web server should be publicly accessible but still be considered a part of the internal network. Okay. And from the above table, what zone would a core domain controller be placed in? It's definitely restricted. Okay, let's read the hint. The domain controller should be considered a high-risk server. Trusted zone is something else, but the restricted zone, we have to protect this zone. Actually, we have to protect also trusted zone or DMZ, but the restricted zone is the highest risk one. Okay, so task 4. Here we have some network security policies and controls, and here we have 2 packets and 2 access control list policy. According to the corresponding access control list policy, will the first packet result in a drop or accept? Let's inspect the first packet. Here source is this IP address, destination is this one. Here are protocol, transmission control protocol, which is TCP, and source, destination, we saw them before. Anyway, here are source port and our destination port, which is SSH. And let's read the access control list policy. Set policy access list 1 and rule 1. Action permit. For who? Set policy access, okay, and rule 1. Source has to be this one, or source has to be these IP addresses, okay. So as you can see, 10.10 2012 and 212 and 209. This 209 is belong to this family, okay. 0/24 means all the IP addresses from 0 to 255, and 209 belongs to this family. So there is no problem with this IP address, okay. So it has to be accept. The result is accept, and there is no protocol restriction here. There is no rule for protocols or ports here, okay. They are just about IP addresses, and this one and this IP address family can travel to the network, into the network. Sorry. According to the corresponding access control list policy, will the second packet result in a drop or accept? Let's inspect this one, close these ones. Here, source is this one, destination is this one. Let's read the access control list policy. There will be a deny operation, but for whom? Let's read the rule. If destination is this one, the action has to be deny. And as you can see here, the destination is 10.10 212 and 209. So here, according to the access control list policy, the destination IP address 10.10 212 and 209. So the action has to be denied. Let's continue. Here now we have a good practical example here, and let's read the questions. Okay, we have to capture a flag. So we have to solve this question according to these informations, and of course these informations. Okay, let's inspect it. Here we have 2 operations for 2 protocol. One of them is HTTP protocol, one of them is ICMP protocol, and here we have interface informations for DMZ, local area network, and wide area network. And here we have our directions: source, destination, DMZ LAN, DMZ WAN, LAN DMZ, WAN DMZ. Okay, let's start to solve our question. Set zone policy zone. Let's click on it. It has to be DMZ for this one. Now I'm solving this one. Okay, it has to be DMZ, and default action, as you can see, default action is drop. Set policy zone. The interface for DMZ is this one, ATH 0.10. Set policy zone, and it has to be LAN. As you can see, they are defaults. Okay, I'm not looking at them. I'm looking for this line and this line, and default action is drop again, as you can see. An interface for local area network is this one. Okay, and set firewall name. According to the relationship, it has to be DMZ to LAN, and description also DMZ LAN. Set firewall name. Again, it is DMZ LAN, and default action. So it's important. It's also it is drop again. Okay. Set firewall name. Now we are looking at these lines. Okay. For rule 100. So set firewall name, it's again DMZ LAN, and rule 100, and action here is as you can see, action accept. So click on accept, and set firewall name, it's again DMZ LAN, and rule 100 protocol. Here it is actually when the right protocol for this question is HTTP. Okay, and when we run our exam, you can capture this flag. Okay, I'm trying to find something else. Let's set the rule. Okay. Anyway, let's continue. Validating network traffic. Does SSL inspection require a man-in-the-middle proxy? Yes, and you can learn why when you read these paragraphs. It's simple to inspect our packets correctly. There is an additional operation here, and it is SSL TLS inspection, and it behaves like man-in-the-middle proxy. Okay. What platform process data sent from an SSL proxy? The correct platform for this one is Unified Threat Management Platform, and the definition of it, actually, SSL TLS inspection uses an SSL proxy to intercept protocols including HTTP, POP3, SMTP, or other, and etc. Once intercepted, the proxy will decrypt the traffic and send it to be processed by a unified threat management platform. And its solutions will employ deep SSL inspection, feeding the decrypted traffic from the proxy into other UTM services, including but not limited to web filters or intrusion prevention system, to process the information. Anyway, you can read these paragraphs to understand why. Let's continue with task 7. Where does dynamic host configuration protocol snooping store list IP addresses from untrusted hosts? When you come to here, you can learn the answer. It is dynamic host configuration protocol binding database. Although DHCP is a layer 3 protocol, DHCP snooping operates on the switch at layer 2. The switch will store untrusted hosts with leased IP addresses in a DHCP binding database. The database is used to validate traffic and can be used by other protocols such as dynamic ARP inspection, which we will cover later in this task. Anyway, let's continue. Will a switch drop or accept a dynamic host configuration protocol release packet? It will of course deny, drop, and it is why here why. Below a list of conditions the protocol will inspect to determine if a DHCP packet should be dropped, and this rule says that it will be dropped. Okay. Does dynamic ARP inspection use the dynamic host configuration protocol binding database? And the answer is yes. When you come to here, it has to be here. Let's recap here. ARP inspection will compare the source IP address and make addresses to the binding pair. If they are mismatched, it will drop the packet, but where is it? Yes, ARP inspection uses the dynamic host configuration protocol binding database filled from dynamic host configuration protocol snooping as its list of binding IP address. Dynamic ARP inspection will match an IP address and what other packet detail? Of course, it is MAC address. When you come to here, definition of the ARP inspection, dynamic ARP inspection. If an ARP packet's MAC and IP address do not match, here you can understand it inspects for MAC addresses and also IP addresses. And now we have finished our test. We finished our room secure network architecture. I hope it is helpful for you guys. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to support me. Thanks a lot. See you in the next videos. Take care of yourselves. I wish all of you nice days. Goodbye.